If you've been experiencing shoulder pain, problems in your hips, there is a common connection between how we hold our core and what's going on with our extremities. We know that we are strong from our core to our extremities, so if there's something going wrong here, if we didn't have an acute injury, if this is something that just kind of developed a shoulder pain or a hip pain, most often if we start to look at what's going on here, we're going to find some issues. One of the biggest issues that I commonly work with and see is an overuse of our upper abdominals and an underuse of our lower abdominals. So I break core tension into two different ways. And we know our core is this entire big 360 that we want to take care of, but when we specifically talk about what's going on here, and we look at how people hold tension, I like to break it up into two ways. The very first way is upper abdominal bracing. This is really common and it looks like this. This is the puffed out upper abdominal, strong, trapped way to brace our core. This is one way to do it. When I do this, I isolate my upper torso, but I free up my hips. The other way to stabilize my core is with lower abdominal engagement. This looks like this. More of a flat stomach, lower abdominals engaged, obliques, transverse abdominis. It stabilizes my hips, but allows my torso freedom and movement. 90% of the time we should be here. This is where most of our tension, our core, our power comes from. If you have done any like Eastern martial arts, they talk about the chi, the center, right here, right below the belly button. And it's so very important to be able to have this and not just stabilize always here. So if you're somebody that does have this really big bend in your back and doesn't really have lower abdominals, or has a nice little pack right here, or maybe has 4 nice strong 6-packs, but is missing down here, we have some work to do. Especially if you have low back pain or some kind of pain in some of your extremities. So understanding how to create this lower abdominal tension is super important. So today we're going to go over a superset that really helps myself and any of my students understand this. The very first thing that we're going to do is a kettlebell opener, and then we're going to go into a sandbag walk. For the kettlebell opener, you can do it with any object. You can do it with a fist in your belly, but it's just a tactile cue for something to push against so that we can start to feel these lower abdominals engaging. So I find myself on the ground, find my belly button, and place the kettlebell below my belly button here. I'm going to be doing this for about a minute, or maybe something like 15 to 20 repetitions. I'm going to take a big nose breath in, breathe into the kettlebell, and then I'm going to use that breath and press into the kettlebell until it raises as high as it can. I'm going to hold that for 1, 2, and then release. Again, big breath in and release. While we're doing it's a really good idea to try and engage the pecs, the insides of the hamstrings, and the rest of this internal torque chain that is so strong in these lower abdominals. After 15 to 20 repetitions, or about a minute, I'm immediately going to go into a sandbag walk. Find myself a sandbag, a rock, some kind of object that's going to help me go from this position of carrying into this position, which is much more strong and much more true for normal human activity. Here, not a good idea to carry something with upper abdominal bracing, but it's an opportunity for me to find low abdominal bracing and walking here. Walking somewhere between 20 to 50 yards, just practicing pressing into the abdominals, but also breathing. For myself, I'll do this 2, maybe for 3 sets as a warm-up or as a cool down or strength prep. But these low abdominals are so important when we're talking about pressing, when we're talking about deadlifting or doing any kind of sport activity. It creates really good control over the entire body. If you're missing these, we need to work on those ASAP.